Did you know that even today in the United States, some bizarre laws still exist that could technically make you a lawbreaker for doing something completely normal? Law 1. It's illegal to walk your alligator on a leash, California. Believe it or not, in parts of California, walking an alligator on a leash in public places is illegal. Yes, a leash, for an alligator. The law exists because exotic animals were once paraded through cities as entertainment, creating obvious danger. While almost no one owns a pet alligator today, the law technically still exists, just in case someone tries. Law number 2. You can't hunt camels in Arizona. Arizona still has a law that makes it illegal to hunt camels. Why camels? In the 1800s, the U.S. Army experimented with camels for desert transportation. When the experiment failed, the animals were released into the wild. The law was created to protect them, and it was never removed. Camels may be gone, but the law stayed. Law number 3. It's illegal to carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket, Alabama. One of the most famous strange laws in America still technically exists in Alabama. Putting an ice cream cone in your back pocket is illegal. The reason? In the past, thieves used this trick to lure horses away without technically stealing them. Today, it sounds ridiculous, but the law remains. Law number 4. No fake mustaches that cause laughter in church, Alabama. In Alabama, wearing a fake mustache in church that causes laughter is illegal. The goal was to preserve seriousness and respect during religious services. While enforcement is unlikely today, the law still exists as written. Laughing in church, because of a fake mustache, could technically break the law. Law number 5. You can't sleep in a cheese factory, South Dakota. In South Dakota, it is technically illegal to sleep inside a cheese factory. As strange as it sounds, this law is real and still exists today. It was originally introduced for practical reasons related to hygiene and safety in food production facilities. Cheese factories must follow strict cleanliness standards to prevent contamination. In the past, especially in rural areas, workers or travelers may have tried to rest inside factory buildings overnight. Lawmakers viewed this as a risk, both to food safety and to people themselves, since factories often contained dangerous equipment, hot machinery, and unsanitary conditions for sleeping. What makes this law particularly bizarre is how specific it is. Instead of banning sleeping in factories in general, it singles out cheese factories. This raises an obvious question. How often did this happen for such a law to be created in the first place? Today, modern cheese factories are secure and heavily regulated, making the situation extremely unlikely. Still, the law remains on the books, a strange reminder that even very specific problems can leave behind long-lasting rules. Law number 6. It's illegal to swear in public, Virginia. In parts of Virginia, public swearing is technically illegal, and yes, this law is still on the books today. While it may sound outdated or even humorous, the rule was originally created to protect public decency and maintain social order in shared spaces. Historically, lawmakers believed that offensive language could lead to conflict, encourage immoral behavior, or disturb the peace, especially in public places where families and children were present. Profanity was seen not just as rude speech, but as a threat to proper conduct and community standards. As a result, swearing in public could be treated as a minor offense and punished with a fine. Today, this law is rarely enforced, and in most situations, people swear in public without consequences. However, the rule technically still exists, meaning that under certain circumstances, foul language could still be cited as a violation. The law remains as a reminder of a time when words were more tightly controlled by authorities. It's a strange example of how everyday behavior that feels completely normal today was once seen as something that needed legal regulation, and how old rules can quietly survive long after society has moved on. Law number 7. You can't tie a giraffe to a telephone pole. Georgia. In Georgia, it is technically illegal to tie a giraffe to a telephone pole or a street lamp. As absurd as that sounds, this law is real and still exists today. While most people will never encounter a giraffe outside of a zoo, lawmakers once felt it necessary to regulate how exotic animals could be handled in public spaces. The law was created during a time when traveling circuses, private animal exhibitions, and exotic animal ownership were far more common than they are today. Large animals were sometimes brought into towns for entertainment or display, and authorities worried about public safety, property damage, and traffic disruption. Tying such a large animal to street infrastructure posed obvious risks, both to people and to the animal itself. What makes this law especially strange is that it names a giraffe specifically, rather than banning the practice for all large or exotic animals. This suggests that giraffes may have actually been present in public spaces often enough to cause concern, at least at some point in history. Today, the idea of someone casually tying a giraffe to a street lamp seems almost impossible. Yet the law remains untouched, quietly sitting in legal records. It serves as another example of how very specific situations from the past can leave behind laws that feel completely disconnected from modern life, but are still technically enforceable. Law number 8. It's illegal to sing off-key, North Carolina. In some interpretations of old local ordinances in North Carolina, singing off-key in public could technically be considered illegal. While this law is rarely enforced today and is often debated in terms of its exact wording, it reflects a time when public behavior was far more strictly regulated than it is now. The original goal of such rules was to prevent public disturbances and maintain peace in shared spaces. Loud or unpleasant singing was seen as a nuisance that could disrupt daily life, annoy neighbors, or even provoke conflict. In an era before modern noise regulations, lawmakers sometimes address these issues in very specific and unusual ways. What makes this idea especially amusing today is the implication behind it. Talent, or at least the ability to sing pleasantly, was treated almost like a legal requirement. If your singing disturbed others, it wasn't just bad manners, it could be considered a violation of public order. In modern times, this concept feels absurd. Music and self-expression are widely accepted, and singing off-key is more likely to earn a laugh than a fine. Still, the existence of such an ordinance is a reminder that what we consider harmless fun today was once seen as something that needed to be controlled by law. These laws may sound funny, harmless, or completely absurd, but they are real rules that still exist in American law books today. Most are never enforced, some are forgotten, and many exist simply because no one ever bothered to remove them. So here's the real question. Which of these laws shocked you the most? And do you think some of today's laws will sound just as ridiculous to people in the future? Write your answer in the comments, and follow for part 2, where we uncover even more strange laws that still exist across the United States.